Alright, what's up? I'm about to talk about this new 2 Chainz album based on a true story too. This is a sequel to the Grammy Award nominated based on True Story 1, which I actually thought was alright. 2 Chainz is known mainly as like a funny punchline type rapper dude over trap sounding beats. And the way he came up was mainly through an insane amount of feature work, like from 2011 to 2012. He's probably on like 50, 60 plus relatively high profile songs. So that's really how he got his foot in the door and became a major player. But yeah, the best way I can describe this album is that it is an album with a lot of the right parts, but they're put together in the wrong way. Now, like, what I mean by that is that for the most part, it's pretty well produced for the type of music he's making, but the lyrics aren't there for the most part. They're kind of lazy, careless, and just kind of some of the other stuff about the album, like for instance the features, the skits, just the general tone of each song. It's really kind of head scratching, and it sounds unfocused to me. Like for instance, on the song "So We Can Live," he starts out, he's telling this story about how he got pulled over by a police officer, and he's talking about how he's interacting with him, what he's saying, blah blah blah, and then the beat changes, and he just wanders off the story. That's the end of that, right in the middle of it. I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck happened? I mean, I thought, I was interested in finding out what the fuck happened at the end of all that. And that whole song is really a perfect example of what I mean by it's unfocused and just kind of not put together well. Like, T-Pain is on that song. And, fuck, it is not 2007 anymore. It's not, it's not cool to have T-Pain on a song. I mean, it never really was that cool, but fuck, I mean, he's way past his day. And, like I said, there's a lot of misplaced skits. Like, after the song "You the Realist," which really was 2 Chainz's, I mean, at least, I guess it was his attempt. It's like a real topical type song. There's a skit after where there's these 3 dudes just hollering about, how one of them doesn't have any money, or this or that or whatever, and it's so head scratching. It's I thought you were trying to be introspective. I thought you were trying to talk about your friends in prison or whatever, and you put this skit at the end of it. That makes no sense. Like, and also on the song what's it, Extra, he just absolutely blatantly lets the hook and the guest verse carry the song. Like, on his verses, on 2 Chainz's verses, they're probably like 30 words long. They're fucking terrible. And the chorus has a different beat. It's a lot more intense. It's a lot more, musical. And 2 Chainz's verses are just terrible. And Rich Homie Quan, who's the dude who did Type Away, he was on that song, and I feel like, he easily had the standout verse on that song, which is saying something. So, that's just an example of kind of laziness, there's lack of focus, kind of lazy, almost, and throughout the whole thing, there's way too many throwaway lines, way too many throwaway verses, just so much stupid-ass shit. I really kind of feel like he took a step backwards from his first project in terms of, kind of funny punchlines. And he goes off on way too many tangents. He's way too random for his own good. Like I said on the song, "So We Can Live," the story just gets thrown out the window. And, on a bunch of other, like "You the Realist," he starts talking about his friends in prison or whatever, and then, there's 10 punchlines in a row about weed. He probably made like a, loud, like, you know, my weed is so loud you can hear it. He probably made like that punchline or a variation on that punchline 5 times throughout this album. Every time I hear it, I want to fucking shoot myself in the head. So yeah, you know, for the most part, I thought it was unfocused, and those, you know, those were all pretty much examples of that. I thought it was kind of musically confused. Like on the song "Used to," and the beat dropped. It had like this piano. It was kind of a, you know, darker type thing, and I'm thinking, okay, well, he's about to say some real shit here, you know. It's not a, it doesn't sound like the type of beat where you're gonna say some stupid random shit on. Which apparently I was wrong, because as soon as the hook drops, he's talking about fucking some girl and putting it on YouTube. And I'm just thinking, you know, the tone of the beat and the tone of the lyrics totally do not match. And you know, that's just so head scratching, you know, like there's a lot of good, you know, beats on this album. There's, you know, 2 Chainz has a good flow. He has a lot of the intangibles that you need to be successful with the type of music that he makes. It's just he makes so many like strange decisions, like to put these skits here or to talk about this on this beat. It's so goofy. I don't get it. And for the most part, the features were weak. Like, you know, like T-Pain, Fergie. He had Fergie on a song. I mean, damn. And Lil Wayne and Drake, they had a track on here which was very forgettable. So yeah, but you know, there were some good aspects of the album, like the song "Feds Watching." That's one of my favorite songs of the year. Pharrell produced the beat. Anything Pharrell produces, I really tend to like. And like I alluded to, it was pretty good, pretty well produced for the most part. But just like what he's saying over some of the beats just doesn't sound right over that particular beat, like on the song "Used to." Also, and I feel like, you know, like I said, a few times throughout this, he was trying to get introspective, but anything he was really trying to get off his chest, I really feel like was done on song "Outroduction," which is the last song. You know, he's really talking about just what his life was like before all the fame and shit. I do feel like the album started off pretty good. Like the first, like if you want to listen to, in my opinion, what makes the best songs on this album, listen to the first 4 songs: "Fork," "36," "Feds Watching," and "Where You Been," and listen to the last song, "Outroduction." Don't listen to anything in the middle, because there's nothing there. You're not going to find anything that good. Listen to those 5 songs, and you'll be alright. So yeah, you know, I can't say I hated this album, but you know, I was able to get through the whole thing without, you know, too much difficulty. But it's just so confusing, some of the stuff he was doing on here. I'm just like, why? You know, 2 Chainz is like a football team that has, you know, all the right, you know, players in the right spots. You know, they got a good quarterback, good receivers, got good defense, got good coaches. It's just they can never really seem to put it all together all at once for a good game, or in 2 Chainz's case, a good song. He's got, you know, he's got the flow, he's got the beats, he's got sometimes the punchlines, but it never really seems like he puts it all together to make a really good song, other than "Feds Watching," which definitely listen to that. But yeah, you know, shout out to 2 Chainz. You know, still doing your thing. I see, one of the hardest working rappers in the game, that's for sure. And yeah, thanks for watching.